So this is the first time I'm riding the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. Let's see what it's all about. I like the way the Hunter is sounding. It's sounding like a sporty thump and not the older Royal Enfield, because when I'm taking it to slightly higher RPMs, it's not complaining about anything because it's not lazy, it's not heavy. It can go fast. You can hustle the bike and it will go fast. So yes, I got to ride the Royal Enfield Hunter 350, and my expectation, I'm not a Royal Enfield fan, I've never owned a Royal Enfield, I've never fantasized about a Royal Enfield, but this is the first Royal Enfield that I seen and I thought, oh my god, it looks so good. I mean, this is something I would buy if it had certain other things, but just on the looks basis, this is something I would buy. It looks very, very good. The colors available are so nice. I mean, you have white, you have blue, you have this red color. So Royal Enfield has ticked all the boxes in terms of looks. Now when I got to ride it, my expectations were like, okay, it's a Royal Enfield, it's a J series platform. How much more impressive can it be? Because many times manufacturers, they just take an engine and put it in a new frame. That's about it, new motorcycle. So Royal Enfield obviously has the classic 350, the Meteor 350, and now the Hunter 350. They are different. I mean, the Meteor and the Classic are considerably more relaxed, heavier motorcycles. But with the Hunter, they have tuned the suspension a little bit, they have tuned the gearing and the engine a little bit, obviously the chassis. So it feels a little more sporty. At least that's what Royal Enfield claims. But when I rode it, it's genuinely more sporty. The exhaust note, you don't expect it. I expected a thump. But this is a thump with a hint of sportiness. When it comes to the suspension and the handling, I thought it would be lazy. I mean, they've put really fat tires on it and it looks sporty, but I thought, okay, fat tires, it's going to become lazy like the Dominar. But it's not at all lazy. It's quite agile, and I was surprised. The front handle moves so quickly, it changes direction so quickly. It's surprising for a bike that looks that heavy, I mean, if a RC200 and R15 does it, you kind of expect it. But this, doing that level of telepathic ability is amazing. So now I'm riding the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 with a pillion, and the front end still feels very light despite having weight at the back, and obviously there's enough torque to pull away from slow speeds. Second gear below 20 km per hour, no issue. I mean, that's a Royal Enfield can. Let's see if we can do this speed breaker in third gear. Bloody hell, it is in third gear. Okay, so we've just finished a ride with a pillion on the Royal Enfield Hunter 350, and I always knew I liked the way this bike looked. I mean, compared to all the Royal Enfields, this looks the sportiest. It looks the most well balanced. It looks like you can ride it hard. Now, looks can be one thing, but today after riding it, I'm telling you, you can really push this to the limit. I mean, if you remove the pegs and it doesn't scrape and all that, you can really push this, because the handling is so light. I didn't expect it to be that light because you have really fat tires in front. Now usually what happens when you have fat tires, the steering is a little lazy, and being a Royal Enfield, I thought it would be even more lazy, but it was not that lazy. It's quite flickable, quite agile, and the rear is also it's a very fat tire, and still it felt agile. It didn't feel lazy at all. Another thing I thought would be a problem is my legs. I'm 6'3", my legs will come above the tank, but that's not the case. My legs are fitting in this mold here, which means, okay, a taller rider can also ride this. But yes, the seat height is low. It's not like a KTM or this. It's a very low flat seat. I just think that this is the most rounded Royal Enfield in terms of acceptance. Maybe hardcore Royal Enfield fans from like older Royal Enfield fans will not like it as much, but the newer generation, like I like this Royal Enfield, this version of Royal Enfield, because it's not lazy, it's not heavy, It can go fast. You can hustle the bike and it will go fast. And I've seen so many on the road, and all of them are hustling. They're not laid back riders. Usually Royal Enfield used to be laid back riders, but I think this changes the meaning of the way you can ride a Royal Enfield, and that's quite nice. I mean, the wheels are smaller than your Classic and the Thunderbird and all, but it works on this chassis. It works, and even the exhaust, for that matter, I didn't expect the exhaust to sound that good. It's thumping, but it is sporty thumping. It's not lazy thumping. There's a big difference. If you put a Classic side of this, the Classic would feel slow, would feel, older, but this feels very young. And I think maybe I'm not taken out on the highway, so I don't know what it performs like on the highway, but I think based on the city and switching gears, second, third gear, there's a lot of torque, and whenever a motorcycle has a lot of torque, it's going to be very, very easy to live with in the city, and that's primarily where this bike is being used right now. So all in all, the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 is a phenomenal motorcycle. No wonder there are so many on the road. I mean, the numbers don't lie when it comes to sales numbers. TVS Ronin and Triumph Speed 400 are all behind the same section and the same slice of the pie. But I think the Royal Enfield is going to have a one-up on them. So that is all for this video. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And it's riding season. Once November comes around, it's cooler. It's good for riding. You can wear all the gear you want, look like a Power Ranger and ride. So get your motorcycles ready and ride safe, ride hard, always wear your helmet. We'll see you in the next one.